like 21, it's a knife. Bust a left, I got drunk and took a right. I'm so high, you fuck with me, I'll take your life. And then take your life, bring you back to fuck her twice. Ay. I'm in the cut, oh yeah, she wanna fuck, oh yeah, that little bitch cut throat, yeah, she give me deep throat, yeah, stitch like low, combination no cheat code, yeah, I got the G code, gun gon' sing on glee, mo, yeah.
What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Today's video is going to be recorded in a new format, and we might take this format onto future commentaries, because I kind of fuck with it. I like having a face cam going on and a little bit of gameplay going on in the background. Enjoy both worlds, like some Hannah Montana shit up in this bitch. I gotta get better lighting, honestly. Like, it's not even the green screen. Like, I could maybe iron this bitch out. Like, you could see some wrinkles in this hoe. But honestly, I just need to get better lighting. Bedroom light is obviously not enough, so I had to improvise and grab the living room light that I have in my living room that I bought from fucking Walmart. And I duct taped the bottom light of it to kind of go on the green screen. So I got like 3 fucking lights going on. Kind of hope I don't sulk in my room one day with all these lights. Hopefully buy a ring light one day. I don't fucking know. But either way, I want to hop into today's video. I've always kind of want to make this kind of video, but I either thought like my channel wasn't big enough, because back when I started this channel, I was around like 18 and shit, 19, so my channel obviously wasn't that big. And then also I thought I didn't experience enough life, and obviously up to now, I still haven't experienced enough life. I'm only 21 years old, but pretty much I just kind of thought I'd be a bit fucking cringy and dumb. Like, who the fuck would really give a fuck? But in today's video, I thought at least maybe 1 or 2 people might give a fuck. I'm joking, but either way, I thought, like, fuck it, make like a little life video and kind of tell you guys more about me and shit, since the channel has actually built up quite a bit, definitely in the past year and shit. We have now over like 200 subscribers, which is fucking amazing. But either way, with this video, I'm not trying to get sympathy or any of that kind of shit either. With my upbringing, it wasn't the best, but also it wasn't the shittiest. I at least had food in my belly at the end of the day and clothes on my back, and I went to school and graduated. So at the end of the day, I survived, I made it. So I'm not trying to get pity or any of that kind of shit out of this. Like, I don't know, you see some Draw My Life videos, and like some people just kind of have the fucking just a shit upbringing. That's just kind of how it is. But then you can see some fucker try and pull some like sympathy cards out of people, and it's just kind of like, motherfucker, we all living on this rock, it ain't perfect. But either way, let's hop into today's video. So pretty much I was born November 1st, 2001, so the day after Halloween. So yeah, you could call me one of those undead motherfuckers or whatever the fuck. There's some holiday or some shit where it's like, I think it's like Night of the Dead or some shit, and then it goes on for a week or some Hispanic holiday. I don't fucking know exactly, but cool shit. Growing up, it was kind of nice. I'd go trick-or-treating, get a fuckload of candy, and then the next day celebrate my birthday and have some cake and some presents. And I'm like, bro, this is fucking lit. I'm getting candy, presents, and cake, and then in a month, it's fucking Christmas. So, like, it was, I don't know, my birthday just spaced out enough to, my birthday gifts and my Christmas gifts don't get combined into one, like how some people who are born in November, those shit, not in November, in December, or like closer to around Christmas, or presents kind of get combined. Mine never really did, so kind of got to enjoy both worlds a bit. But either way, growing up, it wasn't the shittiest, but it was obviously the best. I don't know, like, in the beginning, it wasn't too bad. My parents obviously met each other. They had me, and then they got married and shit. And for the first couple years of their marriage, it wasn't that bad. Obviously, I'm a little kid. I can't really dissect every fucking little thing, but I hear from my parents and people that were around, obviously. Things got a bit fucking rough pretty quick, though. And it wasn't like anything bad, like any physical abuse. It was always just more like emotional shit or just arguments, more like emotional abuse at the max, But either way, I'm pretty much growing up on this ranch in Chico, California. And my dad, he wasn't ever too angry of a guy, but you got him to the point he'd be an angry ass motherfucker though. And I've heard some stories where he's done some shit and I'm like, oh fuck, I wouldn't fuck with that guy type shit. And when I was younger, he did drink a lot, but it wasn't like he was the worst fucking alcoholic ever. Obviously, any kind of level of alcoholism isn't good, but he wouldn't drink like hard liquor type shit. He wouldn't just get plastered on hard liquor every day. Like maybe every once in a while he would have like hard liquor, but it was mostly he would drink beers and shit and that kind of stuff. But like to an crazy level, not like the craziest level, but to a level where homeboy's at least slumped and like fucking faded enough and he's like wobbling around the fucking place. But either way, if people have grown up in that kind of environment, you know how it kind of is. Sometimes they could be the nicest fucking people ever, or sometimes they could be the biggest assholes if you push the wrong button. And usually my mom pushed the wrong fucking button, so there was a lot of fucking arguments and shit in the house, and a lot of shit that a child should not be around. Like, I guess my mom would be like, oh, I'll chop off your dick, and then my dad would be like, oh, fuck you, I'm gonna go drink in my trailer, and then and vice versa. Like my dad would obviously say some shit back, probably be like, oh fuck you, you stupid bitch. And it wasn't just that. There would obviously be arguments about actual shit that mattered, but it would lead to just those petty little things where people are just throwing insults, and like a child should not be around their parents cursing, arguing, and throwing insults at each other. And pretty much my childhood from the age of 3 to the age of like fucking 6, that's all it was. And it kind of continued on, but they would later on get a divorce, and I'd get into that in a second. But pretty much leading up to the divorce and shit, my dad sells the ranch and we move into like kind of a duplex kind of apartment thing. It wasn't the worst thing, it was actually kind of nice. But in this time I'm going to kindergarten, my parents are kind of hoping they can maybe salvage things, but it isn't looking like they're going to salvage things. They're setting up to go to court and file for divorce, all of that shit. So pretty much I'm young as fuck. They're not going to tell me. I didn't have any clue. I'm just like, mom and dad are going out every once a week. What the fuck? Okay, cool. But either way, this point, it never got to the point where my dad would physically abuse me, but he would say some fucked up shit. And definitely, to a little kid, it was fucked. I remember, like, this wouldn't be an every night occurrence, but it would be definitely an occurrence where it happened enough to where my dad would just say horrible shit, like, oh, you're dumber than door, oh, you're retarded, oh, if you don't do this, you're gonna be on the short bus, blah, blah, blah. And I remember this happened quite a bit. My dad would pull our hair and shit, and I know some people have grown up with that and like, oh, that's not really that big of an issue, or yada yada. It really isn't, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't pull your kid's fucking hair. Definitely how my dad fucking did it. Yeah, like fucking sometimes like pick us up by our feet, we're dangling by our fucking hair type shit. And either way, pretty much one day I remember we were doing homework for a while, and I wanted to just go see what my mom and my brother were doing. They were like watching TV. I just wanted to take a break pretty much from doing homework. And they were in the living room originally. My dad kicked them out into the room and shit. And so I go in the room either way to go and just hang out with them. My dad comes in, pissed the fuck off. Like, I remember he like grabbed me by my hair and shit, dragged me back to do homework, all that shit. And at the end of the day, it's not that bad of a thing. I'm not like, oh, I'm scarred for life, but definitely it fucked with me a lot. Definitely growing up, I'm like, kind of like, what the hell, like, I don't know, I don't think Billy over here was getting his hair pulled and yanked, and it kind of, as I got older, got a bit worse, but I luckily did get better, as I did get older and shit, but, pretty much, so, all this shit's going on, and, like, again, I would curse sometimes as a kid, but it would be, like, nothing bad, and I might slip like, an F word every once in a while, but just, like, normal little, like, just curse words that maybe a kid might say that you're like, hey, you shouldn't say that, but they kind of say it because it's like, fuck, why the fuck do people call me mid-video? No, what the fuck? It's always when I'm recording. Like, I don't, like, it's my mom, I love her, but, like, bro, they never call me, like, she told me she called me back, like, 2 days ago. Doesn't call me for 2 fucking days. Then the second I hit that record button, hey, let's call Kristof. Like, what the fuck, bro? I gotta call ass back after this, but either way, continuing on, fuck, I lost the train of this is why I hate when my phone goes off. It's stupid as fuck. But pretty much, all this just going on, and yeah, I would sometimes say just, like, dumb little, like, curse words. Nothing crazy. I was never, like, a huge potty mouth, but again, I'm being raised by people who are arguing with one another and just screaming at each other and cursing. I'm gonna pick up off of it. Definitely, like, also my brothers were cursing and shit, so I kind of picked up on it. And my dad would cram soap in my mouth, and that's a common thing, again, not that fucking bad of a thing. But getting your hair pulled, getting pretty much called you're worthless and soap crammed in your mouth, pretty shitty. So yeah, no, either way, all this shit's going on with the court shit and the, like, fighting for custody, filing for divorce. And I remember one night, it was weird, like, they weren't fully divorced yet, they did nothing yet. My mom just kind of was like, fuck it, we gotta get out of here type shit. And it was kind of like one of those situations, but not really too much, I don't know, but pretty much I kind of, like, I was too young to really understand things. So again, at the same time, I can't, like, be like, oh, my mom was crazy for this, or be like, oh, my mom was good for doing this. But either way, one night, I randomly just woke up to my mom waking me up and being like, hey, we're getting the fuck out of here, pack some of your shit, we're out, type shit. And I didn't really understand, like, I thought maybe like a week or two became like months. And I was out in El Torres. El Torres, I still don't really know what the fuck it is, but somewhere in, like, fucking California or some shit up north. But pretty much, we were staying up in El Torres and shit. And it was just weird staying up there while all the court shit was going on and shit. And then, later on, they, like, a court order would go through for my mom to bring me back and shit. And I would go into visitation with my dad and shit like that. And it was, like, kind of, like, weird, though, because throughout all of this, my dad, like, he did do fucked up shit and did say fucked up things to me, but also he's, like, trying, like, you know, clean up his act, and he's starting to act nice, so I'm, like, still kind of flip-flopping, and it's just kind of weird, because I also have my mom kind of brainwashing me a bit to kind of not like my dad as much and kind of have her be my favorite parent, you know, kind of favorite her more so she could get custody of me type shit. And nothing against my mom, like, my mom would just try to do her best, but in the reality of it, my dad was the more financially set parent to financially set me up better for life than my mom would have. And that's kind of what the court's final decision with everything. But either way, my dad kind of cleans up his act type shit. I'm kind of flip-flopping between parents, you know, at this point. And then the court system finally ends. They get a divorce. We move to Reno. And I remember I didn't know we were going to move to Reno until the last day of kindergarten, when I asked my mom and my dad, I was like, hey, can I go stay the night at my friend's house? Again, one of my first friends I ever met, and, like, he was my best friend at the time. I was like, hey, can I stay the night at his house? And they're like, no, silly, we're moving. I'm like, wait, what do you mean we're moving? And what was fucked up by this is all my my two brothers I grew up with were, like, my half-brothers. I'll kind of explain my whole sibling situation in a second, because it's a bit confusing and fucked. But either way, my two half-brothers I grew up with, they lived in Chico, so pretty much me moving to Reno, I would move 8 hours away from them and only see him once, twice a year growing up. But pretty much my whole sibling situation, so I have a brother, two sisters and a brother on my dad's side, and my dad lost custody of them, and that was from his last marriage. Again, not really my shit to go into, but just kind of how shit is. So I never really grew up with them much. Maybe saw them like once or twice in my fucking life. And then my other two half brothers on my mom's side. So yeah, I just grew up with them and shit. And either way, it was a bit rough because I did kind of know, hey, I'm gonna be on my own. And majority of my upbringing, I was on my own. Like I did have friends growing up and have like friends now that I've been friends with for 10 plus years. But again, I was theoretically alone in the sense of I never really had like a family that was hella close. Like my aunt, my uncles on my mom's and my dad's side are kind of distant, besides one on my mom's side, and like one of my uncles were kind of close. But again, we only see each other so often, so I don't know, like I wouldn't say I'm the closest with my family. And pretty much, it kind of fucked with me, you know? And I kind of rooted a lot of, like, sadness growing up and me wanting to move back to California, and was one of the big reasons why I moved back to California. Even though I might not live in the same city as them, I just want to live closer to them, and to be honest, I love California more than Nevada. Nevada's kind of fucking dog shit, just a whole bunch of cactuses and dirt fucking hills, like, you only can do so fucking much. Like, yeah, you could go skiing. Yeah, there's Lake Tahoe, but also Lake Tahoe's in California, too. That bitch split in half. But, either way, growing up, like, yeah, no, it wasn't the worst thing ever, but, yeah, no, I kind of remember being like, the fuck? Okay, I guess we're moving, and being, like, really upset about that shit. Either way, we moved to Reno, and kind of it was the opposite of how things were for me in California. Like, obviously, I made good friends in Reno and shit like that, and just friends I would hold on to for life, you know, like, they're like my friends for life type shit and stuff like that. But also, I kind of did, obviously, I'm growing up, kind of expressing myself more and shit, and I definitely noticed, like, I don't know, kids just get kind of meaner in elementary school. Like, they're nice as fucking kindergarten, and then 4th, 2nd, 3rd grade, 4th, 5th, like, they're all assholes. I don't know why. But either way, I was kind of more, like, kind of set to the side. Like, I was cool with kids, and I had friends. I was never caused too much issues with people, but also I was kind of a bit more the outsider type person. I wouldn't want to be, like, complete edgelord and be like, oh, I was an outsider, no one ever talked to me. Not really that kind of shit, but I never really, like, was Mr. Popular, oh, everyone wanted to, like, kick it with me. It was more like everyone kind of knew me type shit. And, either way, I kind of made my friends I would kind of stick with, but yeah, no, like, I just kind of, like, you know, felt a bit, alone always growing up, and it just kind of sucked, you know. And I remember when I was younger, I didn't really start talking until I was maybe, like, 3 years old or 4 years old, so I was mute for, like, the first 4 years of my life. I would just point at my brother to have, like, and then point at shit to have my brother ask my parents to give me shit or whatever, you know. And yeah, no, pretty much I was like a pretty social kid, but not also the most social person ever. And I remember yeah, just growing up, my dad would kind of continue drinking and shit. He would finally get custody of me, not full custody, but majority custody of me. So I'd be with him on, like, school nights and shit. And pretty much, he was really good with me about school and always caring about school, but it would get to a point where it almost got too toxic, you know, and he would be, like, legit just screaming at me. We would be practicing, like, for example, in, like, 3rd grade type shit. This would not just be in 3rd grade, this would be like fucking 4th grade to, like, fucking 6th grade. I dealt with this kind of shit. Like, every time we would study, like, say, for example, for, like, spelling tests or some shit, he would do, like, threats like, oh, each word you miss, I'm gonna cut an inch of your hair in your sleep. Because my dad knew I liked having long hair, and he kind of wouldn't really want me to have long hair growing up and shit. He's like, oh, you look like a chick, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, look at me now, fucker. And, like, I got my little stash going. Like, we looking good. Like, fucking, maybe not looking like Justin Timberlake's, but fuck it. I know I ain't the ugliest motherfucker, but either way, So yeah, pretty much he would do like weird shit like that, and I remember it would kind of scare me because you're having your parents scream at you and saying all this shit, and even though he's passed out drunk, I would still get scared that he would randomly wake up, start cutting my hair or some shit. So it would make me stay up very late at night type shit, and my dad would cut off the internet because he kind of knew I would stay up all night on my computer or on like my I didn't actually have a computer like on my 360 and shit. So he would cut off the Wi-Fi type shit. So I would kind of just sit in bed all fucking night, kind of like, be like, I hope this fucking asshole doesn't come in my bed and cut my hair, and then at 2 a.m. be like pass the fuck out type shit. But either way, he never cut my hair, luckily, in my sleep. So thank God for that. But he did one time. It was fucked. And this kind of my dad would cut my hair multiple times. I don't know why, because like we would go to haircut places, and sometimes I would be understandable. I wouldn't get out the car. I'd be like, nah, fuck you, I want to grow my hair out. And that's just kind of understandable, but you can't force to cut your kid's hair, or at least if you do it correctly, and this fucker did not do it correctly. If you know me in real life and you ever see like elementary school photos of me, or if they ever leak online and they look whack as fuck, you can thank that fucker, because that fucker would just cut my hair, like chase me around the house with scissors. I remember vividly one time running around the house, fuck was chasing me with scissors. I'm going in like bathrooms, closing the door. I'm fighting it. Like, again, I'm like 50 fucking pounds, and those this drunk ass motherfuckers slamming his whole body against the door. And somehow I was like, I don't know, the adrenaline in my body or some shit was strong enough to have me slam that door, hold it long enough so I could go lock the door type shit. Or then sometimes like and like this time, I remember I went, it was weird. Like, either way, he chasing me around the house with scissors type shit. And I went to, like, we had a laundry machine and kind of a bathroom area. I went, no, he's chopping my hair a bit. And then I'm like, nah, fuck this shit. Run, like, between his legs. And I remember I'm, like, running up the stairs and all this shit. Chase me, chopping off bits. And I remember I finally got in my bathroom, locked it type shit, called my mom, was like, what the fuck do I do? Like, bitch, you need to come get me. But my mom, like, she wanted to be there, but she couldn't be because she had to go work. She had to go pay her bills, type shit. So it was like, she's like, yo, homie, I want to help you. I want to save your ass, but nobody else is going to pay my bills. And fuck! Like, goddamn, I got dumbass. No, I can't call my mom a dumbass, but I got motherfuckers calling me. Now I got green screen falling down. Gotta fix this shit, motherfucker. Okay, so back to what I was saying before the green screen fell. So, pretty much, called my mom, and she was kind of like, I want to help you, but kind of can't. Gotta, like, work and shit. Like, I got my own shit to deal with. And she kind of was like, here's your best bet, call the police. So I called the police, and even though, like, I never really want to call the police, because I never, like, it was never really, like, I was like, oh, I don't fuck with the police. Now the green, like, fuck, now the green screen's too fucking short. Okay, maybe that shit good. That shit good. Should be good. Hopefully. But, no, it's not fucking. Fuck! No, now it's like, oh, too shit. Then I love how, like, the second I sit down, I've actually hit the space key and stopped the recording. So, it should have probably stopped it anyways. Fix the fucking green screen for the 20 millionth time. But while I'm trying to explain this stupid shit, pretty much she's like, yeah, call the police. I never liked calling the police because, again, it wasn't like I was ever like, oh, fuck the police. But also, I'm like anyone else. I don't like the police too much. And also, I never really want to just call the police on my dad, unless, like, it was, like, really, really fucking necessary. And this moment kind of seemed like it. But my dad was always kind of good at, like, kind of calming me down when he knew the police were coming. And he kind of, like, not get arrested. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to get arrested for that shit. But at the same time, like, if police have to get involved, they have to get involved, And he was able to just calm me down and let me kind of do my thing, But I had this whack-ass fucking haircut. And that's why I always had these whack-ass cuts and shit. And it just was kind of fucked, And then it just sucked because then I would be trying my hardest, in school and stuff like that. And I wasn't ever, like, the worst student ever. I actually did do pretty good in school. Up to high school once I stopped actually kind of giving a fuck. And my dad kind of let me also do my own thing, too. But pretty much, Yeah, like I always did pretty good in school academically and shit. I maybe wasn't the most well-behaved kid, but also I wasn't the most like evil child. I was kind of just like in the middle, you know, and shit. And pretty much, yeah, I remember just dealing with just like weird, crazy shit like that all the time. I remember one time on my dad's birthday, like I was kind of like being a bit of an asshole, but I was just kind of like in a mood because I think my dad and my stepmom screamed at me or some shit, and like kind of my stepmom came into the picture midway through. So she kind of like, sometimes I would be a bratty child. I would understand, like every child can be a brat sometimes. But then sometimes I would be like, he would be freaking out on me and I'd be freaking out on him. And she kind of wouldn't understand like the whole picture of things, that it just, like my dad's drinking all of this and I'll explain all that shit. But either way, my dad continued on drinking pretty much from when I was like born till the age of like when I was like 14. But throughout these years, he was slowly cut back. So pretty much it wasn't until like 6th grade when he cut back a lot, like cut back quite a bit, you know. And then it wasn't until like I was in 8th grade when he fully like cut back, you know. So either way, I was like maybe in like 5th grade, but either way, I was kind of being a bit of a brat, but not too much. And we were about to go out to eat, and this dude, I don't know what happened, but I knew he was drinking that night. But either way, we were about to pull out, and then my dad's like, nah, fuck this, because he thought, I don't know, I guess I might have whispered some stupid shit or some shit. But homeboy runs into the house, and I remember, like, he knew I really fucked with my Xbox 360, all of that shit. He runs in the house. Luckily, it doesn't smash the 360, but smashes every fucking headset I have. Just, I remember seeing my Total Beach. I had these Black Ops 2 ones. I bet you could look them up, like the Black Ops 2 Total Beach ones. I had those, and he just smashes them. I'm like, bruh, what the fuck? Mom, what I do? We about to go to get some dinner and celebrate your birthday. This is a really good way of celebrating, I would say. You know, so yeah, no, he would just kind of, you know, I would do little things and he would explode a fuckload, you know, and that was I dealt with that a lot growing up. And I remember 7th grade, I had straight A's the first semester, and then the second semester I would run away from my dad's. Technically, some of my family members call me a runaway, but technically to be a runaway, you gotta run away from family and anyone you know. But I just ran to my mom like anyone else fucking would. So I wouldn't really call myself a fucking runaway, but you call me whatever. So I ran away from my dad's place because he's drinking, being hella toxic while doing homework, like, you know, calling me worthless, calling me stupid, and all of this shit. I'm like, even sometimes I would talk to teachers. I'd be like, hey, I'm not in the worst situation. Like, I'm being fed. I'm happy. I like being at my dad's, but my dad's doing these kind of things. Like, what can I do? I sometimes would, you know, voice out to adults and shit. And, like, some adults would be like, yo, dude, that's fucked up. Like, what the hell? Like, you need, like, do this or whatever, you know? So I kind of knew I was in a bit of a fucking pickle. So I kind of just dipped. I remember I called my mom. I was like, hey, I gotta get the fuck out of here. And I remember that night I packed all my shit and I was gonna grab a fucking Pop-Tart. A fucking Pop-Tart. And my stepmom sees me going like in the pantry to grab one. She's like, what are you grabbing? No, you can't have that. And fights over me with the 4 fucking Pop-Tart. I'm like, what the hell? Well, luckily me, my dad, and my stepmom, we all have a good relationship now. But yeah, no, we're fighting over a fucking Pop-Tart, though. Either way, I let the dumb motherfucker have it. I'm like, fuck you and your fucking Pop-Tart, I'm out this hoe. So I walked across town. So I walked maybe 10 miles with 50 pounds on my back at the age of like 13 to my mom's work to get the keys to go into her house and shit. I would stay though for a couple of months and then go back to my dad's house because my mom could not financially support me as well, you know? And we kind of were like, fuck it, we got, like, she couldn't financially support me, and then we were kind of like, fuck it, we gotta kind of hope your dad's just not gonna be as much of an asshole. He kind of learned his lesson. Obviously, he doesn't learn his lesson too much, but either way, my stepmom later on dips out of the picture. And once my stepmom dips out of the picture, it kind of got worse. again, like, it wasn't always bad when my dad got drunk. Like, I remember one time in 6th grade when I was about to go into middle school, my dad was like, here's $600 for graduating from elementary school. And I was like, what the fuck? Okay, cool. And he just blackout drunk. Like, I asked him about it the next morning. No clue. My homeboy's like, what's 600? He's like, you could keep it, but I don't remember that. I'm like, well, okay, cool. I got $600 that I'm gonna go blow at fucking GameStop. But either way, yeah, there would be sometimes good moments like that, but a lot of the times it was pretty shitty moments where I just got kind of screamed at and just kind of like treated like shit. But either way, continuing on, the second time my stepmom would dip out of the picture because my dad was drinking too much. She didn't even want to deal with it anymore. So then I was kind of getting the full blunt of everything. And then I would later on dip from the picture. And kind of at that point, my dad would kind of, you know, sober up, kind of get his act more together. Him and my stepmom would work things out. And then I would come back later on. And I remember just through all of that, I remember like when I was with my dad, my grades were really good because my dad was hell on my ass. And I actually did low-key care about school, but I knew like my mom cared about my grades and shit, but I knew I could kind of get away with shit with my mom. So I kind of was like, fuck it. Like, I don't really give a fuck about school, at least at that point in time. So I was like, fuck it. Like, no one's on my ass. So I just slacked hella, you know. And it was just weird because you would see first semester I had straight A's and then next semester I had straight F's. And that's kind of how my whole middle school experience was. Like, first semester of 7th grade, straight A's, then next semester straight F's, and then first semester straight A's, and then next semester straight F's, and like it was kind of all of that. And then my dad would luckily sober up, and things would get a bit better as I got into high school and shit. And again, as I got into high school, things got way better and more cleared up. Like, again, I started like connecting better with kids like that I went to school with, because I feel like eventually, even if you're in like middle school or elementary school, like all the kids are kind of assholes to each other, and then you guys kind of get to high school. And if luckily for me, I kind of stuck with the kids I went to, like some kids, like not every single kid, but like a few kids, like I would say at least a good like 10-20 kids I went to elementary, middle school, and high school with. So I kind of knew these kids for at least a good 4 or 5 years before I even got to high school. So luckily, kind of had some friends like that and stuff like that. And either way, like, I don't know, like, it just kind of things got a bit better in high school. But also I started like smoking weed, kind of doing the things you do in high school, kind of like just saying kind of like fuck it, you know. I was a good student in school. Like, I think the only class I ever failed was algebra 2, the first semester of it, but I did end up passing it. I went. So pretty much how I passed it, the first semester, the teacher was like, how are you going to pass it? Like, you're going to need to do this, yada, yada. And I was like, there was this online, it was like weird. It was this like course you could take at my school. It was kind of for the kids that always did school and shit. But I was like, fuck it, I could get enrolled in this shit. But pretty much, you would just do the class online type shit, but at school. And I was like, I'll just do it online, but I'll cheat through it. And that's what I did. I would cheat through it on the computer, do the first semester, and then right after, go across the school to go do the second semester. And somehow they're like, hey, this kid's like passing both of these classes. So they would think like maybe I'm learning like what the semester 1 stuff and then using it on the semester 2 stuff or whatever, like the courses were aligned well enough. Nah, I was just cheating through that shit. I was even cheating. I feel like every subject in high school I was good at, and I didn't need a cheat besides math. I was dog shit at math. When it came to doing math, it was just like my brain shut off, and I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I could add, multiply, divide, all that shit, but if you ask any other shit higher than that, I'm like, what the hell? Fuck that. But, either way, yeah, high school was a good experience and shit, and, like, up to now, like, I'm, like, again, I've been through some shit, but, again, nothing as bad as when I was younger, or even, like, things to stop me. I kind of try to use it more as motivation, you know, now. But pretty much I remember fucking, like, I think it was, yeah, fuck. I don't know really what I'm trying to get at. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing out on any, like, little things I want to try add into this video, because I don't want to make, like, multiple videos like this, you know? One video, and I'm just gonna wrap it all up, and then, like, I guess 5 years down the road, if the channel blows the fuck up, this is a video you gotta watch if you want to know the inside and scoop about shit. But, yeah, I don't know, my upbringing was a bit rough, but not the roughest. Like, growing up with my mom, she lived in, like, the ghetto part of town usually, so I kind of experienced both sides of Reno, like, the ghetto shitty parts where there's a whole bunch of druggies. Oh, yeah, that's probably a bag of coke on the floor and all that shit. Then also living in the gated, nice communities, like, with my dad, where I'm like, wow, nice, that's a firework and not a gunshot, you know? And it's just like, yeah, I have a whole bunch of other stories I could talk about in other videos and shit, but I would say, yeah, that's kind of the brief story of, I guess, who I am and the whole 21 years of life I've experienced. So it's been a great 21 years, I would say. Like, some of them were good, some of them were bad. I don't know. I like, again, like, I don't want to become, like, have this become a therapy session, but I do definitely, like, it does suck because I remember, like, my mom always did want to be around, you know, but again, she couldn't be, and it's like still kind of like this now, you know, so that's why it's like I want to make something of myself in my life, you know, so I could, you know, kind of help my mom out financially and not have that always be a burden, because I know that's always been a burden on her and shit. And it just sucks because, like, financially, it was, like, always financial shit. It was not like, oh, my mom didn't have the time for me or didn't want to go to my birthday. It was simply she financially couldn't because she's in a different town, or she has to work because she has to get these bills, like, certain bills paid, and if she asks for these days off, it's just she's going to lose her job or not have enough to pay the bills, whatever, you know, and it just, I remember being younger, and this is actually what I remembered and wanted to actually say, when I was younger and shit, I would, like, in, like, 2012, I started my first YouTube channel, and I would get, like, legit my iPod, and like a glass, and record, my Xbox, or, like, record the TV, record me playing Minecraft or some shit. Then later on in middle school, high school, I would do, like, commentaries and shit. Those commentary channels are long gone. You can actually find my first channel. I have a video where I kind of talk about my first channel a bit. I might actually make a video about that again here soon. But then I would just kind of have a few channels. I think I had one channel in 2012 when I was in 5th grade when I first started. Then another channel later on, like maybe in 6th grade, or yeah, like about 6th grade. And then I would start another channel in middle school. Then after that, I would start another channel. And this was all by the same name. Like, not all of them. I think my first 3 channels had different... No, my first 2 channels had different names. My first channel was Poofy Bill. I don't know why the fuck I picked that name. My next channel was called Red Gaming, because I went by Red for Dead. So I was like, fuck it, Red Gaming. Then number 3, my third one was PissedoffKristof, and I just misspelled my current name that I have now, and pretty much I just did like gaming videos and shit on there, and just commentaries in middle school and shit, Minecraft videos and stuff like that. And then in high school I would have my PissedoffKristof, again misspelled as fuck, and just same old thing I kinda did. Then this channel I started back up because I don't know why, some point in high school I think I was like smoking too much weed, or just like, I don't know, I want to focus on some other shit. So I just stopped doing YouTube, and I don't know, like kids would kind of pick on me for it, so I did kind of think it was a bit cringy. So I stopped doing YouTube, and I did kind of want to figure out what I want to do besides just doing commentaries. And I was like, oh, fuck it, actually, I'm making gaming videos and just doing commentaries and all of that. Like, obviously, I wanted to expand to doing different kinds of content in the future, and always be on to like different kinds of things and making different kinds of videos. But I know at my roots, that's what I kind of like doing, is just sitting back, you know, making a video, talking with you guys. If that's like me playing a game or just how I am right now, just picking up the mic talking. But either way, so pretty much, yeah, now this channel I would start when I was finishing. I wouldn't say I was fresh out of high school, but I would be like kind of finishing up high school and shit. So I was like maybe like 17, almost 18, or I just turned 18. And I've had this channel rolling for 2 years. And I want to just say, sorry that this video is long as fuck, but thank you for everyone that did tune in and watch the whole thing or watch parts of it. And thank you to everyone who does actually subscribe and check out the videos and likes the videos and pops in onto the streams and shit. It means the world to me. Everyone that has subscribed to this channel, it means the fucking world to me. And I'm just glad to see that this channel can actually grow, you know. I do want to see this channel grow into like bigger thing. I'm trying to have my sleep go down. I do want to try to have the channel grow into bigger things in the future, but at the end of the day, I'm not trying to be the biggest fucking YouTuber. I'm not trying to cash out on this. Like, yes, I do want this to be my job in the future, and I do want to try and make like a good livable income off of making videos. But obviously, I'm not just doing it for the money. I actually love doing this shit. I've been doing this since 2012. So, either way, I'm just grinding away and waiting for my time to, you know, at least make it on this shit. Again, like, I don't need millions of subscribers, but if I got 1 million subscribers, fuck, I'd be happy as fuck. But I'd also be happy with just 100K or just 50K or 20K, you know? Either way, I'm just glad that people do enjoy my videos and do come back, and if that's checking out future videos or checking out live streams and stuff like that. Again, I have so many other things like starting like a Patreon in the future and just so many other projects like if that's stickers or making t-shirts and stuff like that I want to start in the future and shit, and that we will see very, very fucking soon. So just bear with me, and I just can't wait for 2023. I feel like, I don't know, I don't want to say, oh, it's going to be my year or any of that shit, but I feel definitely like it's going to be a good fucking year. And I just want to say, I think I've said this in a few videos already, thank you guys so much. It was such a big goal of mine to hit 200 subscribers before this year ended, and we hit it like, I think, like in October. So thank you guys so fucking much. Or even, I think, before October. So yeah, either way, thank you guys so fucking much for like destroying that shit and having the channel hit over 200 subscribers. So I guess we're on the road to 300. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. And if you like this video format, I'll do it more in the future. I'm recording this video at nighttime as well. That's kind of why the green screen's kind of fucked up, because there's not as much lighting going through. But in the future, I'll try, you know, better the screen, better the green screen, so it's not as fucked up, and kind of, you know, switch up the gameplay every once in a while and shit like that. But I think this is the new format for commentaries. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye, guys.